Hi there, welcome to the Fierce Factor podcast. I'm your host, Kaylee Lindholm. And I think it's time for us women to shift the conversation in business and step into our feminine leadership to do the most iconic work the aesthetic industry has ever seen. Each week, I'll be bringing a powerful dose of strategy, sarcasm, solutions, and sass that will rev up your creativity and ignite your brilliance as you link arms with me along our shared path of personal and professional growth in 20 minutes or less. Let's go. Hello, leader. Welcome back to the Fierce Factor podcast. Nice to chat with you again. I am loving this sort of new vibe in 2023, kind of feeling like I'm giving myself this runway to have some extra creativity and some extra fun with the Fierce Factor podcast. I hope you don't mind. I wanted to pop on today because I am excited about the announcement that I have to make, but also I think it's really super relevant for so many of you, so many of our clients, maybe you in particular, as you are sort of building out your strategy, your vision, your plan of attack for 2023 as we're here in the beginning of this new year, thinking about your hiring plan and how you're going to grow. I know for me, it's taken a couple solo vacations and certainly this past couple weeks of downtime, nature time, getting outdoors and really giving myself some open space and my team some time off so they don't have to be bugging or getting bugged, I should say, by me to really think about and implement and start to execute on some of the really big ideas that I've had and have really been planting seeds last year to really head into this year strong. And I know I talked about this in last week's podcast, mentioning the great reset of 2023. I really feel like that was my 2022. And if you look at our numbers, it really reflects that. It really shows that we took an opportunity to slow down, tighten up infrastructure, stockpile some cash, and get into position to come out of the gates strong and in a new way. And one thing I talk about with our academy clients regularly is hiring up. And what I mean by that is that every single new hire should really elevate the status quo of the team, right? Almost like get everybody on their toes. And I think a lot of times we hire tactically, we bring in people and we're just like cross our fingers that they get along or fit in with the culture. We'll do a team interview and ask for some feedback from our team members. And obviously all that's important, making sure that every new member is totally dialed into our vision and our core values and gets along with the team. But something that I think is important is that we think about bringing in people that even if they're coming into a quote unquote lesser role or a role that maybe isn't quite as high up on the salary position or on the hiring chart, so to speak, that every employee is absolutely bringing their A game, new levels of enthusiasm, new levels of passion and of energy, of skills within the specific role that they have. And that really requires us as leaders to show up to the hiring process in the same way, the same capacity. And something that I have really challenged myself to do, and I really challenge our clients to do, is to evaluate themselves every single hire and show up for the hiring process in a more energetic and passionate and invigorating way. That's what I'm here to do today. We've hired, I think in the past year, 7 or 8 employees. And I have tried to polish up our system for hiring system, meaning how I go out and market for roles, the process for which we bring applicants into our system, the requirements that they have to go through, the gates that they pass through to even have an interview with me. We have really polished up how we evaluate candidates through the process, both by what they say and their actions, the projects that we have them do, the ways that we're really digging into their character, and just it's become a much more dynamic process. One thing I've never done is come to our main marketing platform and talk about our hiring process and the fact that we are hiring. And this year, this month, we're getting ready to welcome a new employee. Maybe it's you or someone you know. And so I thought I would take the time today to talk about who that candidate is, what the role is, and why. And also sort of showcase for you as a podcast listener how we go about finding such amazing people and bringing amazing people into our team, and how we have helped our clients do the same, show up in a really unique and different way to attract the best candidates to them. And I was sort of inspired after I got a note yesterday from a client who just started to implement our hiring process for a new candidate she was bringing on. And she got a note from a candidate she's very excited about that said, I have applied to many different companies and I've looked at many different job descriptions, but I've never seen one that really truly speaks to me like this. This role stood out to me, and there's no question that not only am I the right fit, but that this is the right company with the right culture and the right mission. So our client, of course, was super pumped about that and forwarded me the note and was so thankful and said how she felt so much more empowered and excited about the prospect of going through the interview process. And I know sometimes we just get bogged down, and I've been there and I may be there again. So I'm saying I'm with you in sisterhood on this, that we go out to find new candidates and sort of open up that Pandora's box and start to get all these applications in. And then it's this process of evaluating the applications. And in our case, we ask for a video and then having to even tell really great people that they're not going to be the right fit for our company or not get hired. And it's exhausting and takes time and it can be draining. But to be able to show up to the hiring process, to be excited about what's to come because you know you've done the work ahead of time, there's just a different sort of experience that you'll go through when you do it the right way. And so basically, I'm showing up today with full excitement and passion and energy. I have been recruiting as well. So there, of course, are some candidates that I already have in my pipeline. That's another motto. Like, my academy clients will say, what would Kaylee do? And one of those things is always be recruiting, ABR. We all talk about that on repeat. And by that, I mean that your business is truly built by an ecosystem of people, be it your employees, your vendors, your partners, your contractors, everybody around you that you surround yourself with. And so as a primary focus, I'm always looking at aligning myself with really great people who are going to help me elevate, hold me accountable to a level of excellence that I expect of myself and that I know my company expects of me. And also people that I think are going to be a great team member, right? Sometimes I may not have a role for them necessarily right away, but I just know that person would be a great fit for us. So we back pocket that. We sort of put them in a file and call them when we're ready. Keep a network of community and communication with those types of candidates. I had a friend that was running a practice and she picked off her barista at Starbucks that she visited every single morning. And she just kept that communication open. And as soon as she had a position, she plucked her right away. I just think that hiring is so rewarding and can be so fun, leading people and making an impact on them. With the same client, we had the conversation about performance reviews and how it was so hard to give critical feedback to employees. Many of us don't do that as leaders because we're afraid that they might get upset or we're worried about what they're going to think or is it going to motivate them. And I can think on one hand, literally the number of people in my life who have given me critical feedback that made me get better and stronger, that challenged me. And nobody likes hearing things that say that they're not the greatest in the world, but that's how we grow. And so I would think as a leader, that's part of the beauty of growing a business is having the ability to share that experience with our employees, to give them the kind of coaching and feedback and direction that helps them become stronger and better humans. And that's going to impact our business in a really positive way. So when I think about this, and I think about how privileged I am to be able to bring a new team member on, I have so much gratitude for that. And yes, it's exhausting. Yes, I'm going to have to train somebody. Yes, I'm going to be doing a lot more work in the beginning, but I believe it's going to be worth it in the end. I'm going to dive in and talk to you about this role that we're hiring for. And I'll say, if you happen to be listening to this episode, I don't know, 6 months from now, after we've already filled this specific position, and you are thinking about becoming part of a team of women, of a business, of a philosophy that is shifting perspective and really making transformational impact in our industry, give me a call because I don't know. We're making some big moves this year and we're going to be hiring quite a few people. So if you feel like you want to be a part of this, don't hesitate to reach out. I love when people take initiative. So without further ado, I want to talk to you about our new position, the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Business Development. I'm just launching this application process and it's going to be open until January 25th. And you can learn more about this when you go to our hiring page, klcconsultants.com/hiring. And if you're listening to this and you're a practice owner who is certainly not somebody that is looking to take a position with a company like ours, but more learn about hiring from our company, I would highly recommend that you go check out that page and look at the process that we will take you through, that we take a candidate through when they're looking to come on board with us or learn more about our job description, our roles, and how to apply. And you'll see, I'm going to walk you through here on the podcast, but a little bit about the context of how we formulate our job descriptions. Number one, we don't lead with the tactics of the job. We lead with the character of the human being. So I think it's important, first of all, that we state what our mission is and what we're out to accomplish in the world, because what we're looking to do is enroll somebody who is less focused on what's in it for me and more focused on what am I becoming a part of and how can I help make an impact. And so first I explained to them, welcome to the premier leadership and business growth coaching and life first experience organization in the aesthetic and wellness industries. We are on a mission to help 1,000 inspiring and intentional women cross the next $1 million milestone in their business this year. And we're seeking a director of strategic partnerships and business development to expand the KLC brand through direct sale business operations, strategic partnerships, and corporate contracts. So then I go in to list out the primary objectives of the role, which are to advance the KLC brand visibility, referrals, and direct sales, identify and cultivate high impact strategic partnerships alongside moi to increase lead generation into coaching programs, build a scalable system to sell packages and licenses into corporate accounts, work alongside Kaylee to secure and manage lucrative contracts with corporate accounts, support with direct client communication as appropriate, and to build recognition, consumption, and reviews for the Fierce Factor podcast. Then I'm going to go into secondary objectives. So this would be to conduct discovery calls with KLC prospects, to move them into our coaching programs, to be ambassador of our Practice Manager Fast Track program, lead Academy group co-working sessions related to business development, marketing, and practice management, support me with private client work as needed, work with a team to develop marketing content, curriculum, masterclasses, and presentations, and support with delivery of corporate client partnership programs. So I start with just a high level of essentially what are the primary objectives of the role. And then next we go right into the right fit. And this is so important because what we're doing here is we're essentially building this based on what we call a love letter to our employees. So we're sort of vision casting out who this employee is, writing a letter to the employee. Here's why I love you. Things like, you anticipate my needs before I have to tell them to you, right? Or sometimes we'll have clients who say, I love how this employee grabs me coffee and brings that in the morning. So we're including all these things in our love letter. And the reason that we do this and that this comes out as a bulleted list as the right fit in our job description is that we tend to, I don't know who's guilty of this, but go to Indeed, look up a role that's a similar role, cut and paste some of the duties, And what do you end up doing? You end up putting out a job description that looks just like everybody else's. Can you imagine? Let's say you're a highly qualified employee, you've got skill and experience and you're looking for a new job, or you're probably not even looking, but something comes across your desk or someone forwards you an opportunity like, hey, this sounds like something you might be interested in. And it's just a bulleted checklist of another company looking for the same person. The goal here is to stand out as a company. Here we want a candidate who's different, who's unique, who's going to bring all this sizzle to our company, yet we're like, wah, plain Jane, the way that we're going out and marketing for that employee. So if we want somebody freaking awesome, you have to show up freaking awesome. And so I really, really can't emphasize enough that if you have a job description that doesn't exactly talk about who, what, how, when, where, why, your culture, your brand, and who that candidate should be and shouldn't be, you're doing yourself a major disservice. I remember one time being on a masterclass and someone said to me, I'm hiring a nurse and I got 250 applicants. And I thought, wow, if 250 people think that they are qualified for your role, for your company, if 250 people think they're the right fit, you have not been specific enough around who is and who isn't the right fit. So the right fit for us, a sophisticated, well-spoken, well-written, brand-savvy boss, mature demeanor, an impeccable ability to engage and influence others, a quick learner with problem-solving and critical thinking skills, someone who takes initiative to figure out what's needed to be done through creativity and flexibility, someone who's customer service oriented with the ability to quickly establish rapport with customers, team, vendors, and partners, someone who's obsessively motivated, reliable, and resourceful, someone who has an aptitude or ability to quickly master communication around our operating systems, superior organizational skills, follow-through skills and attention to detail, excellent communication skills, and ability to finish an assigned task without all the steps in place. So we're remote, but a very high-touch team. Someone with a playful sense of humor, who is humble and hungry and smart, someone who's a team player, who is fulfilled by contribution, someone who brings innovative ideas and diverse experience to the table, and someone who doesn't need a ton of handholding. So if 250 people think that they're hungry, smart, excellent communicator, excessively motivated and reliable, impeccable ability to engage and influence others, I'd be shocked. And so this is sort of where they can simply read themselves out. If you need a ton of hand-holding, right? Like I know if I'm someone who really wants to have the boxes checked for me or boxes to check, this isn't going to be the right fit. Then I go into the must-have. So this is where we talk about more of the skill sets or like the experience or credentialing or certifications that need to have. For us, a bachelor's degree or comparable experience equivalency, 2 or more years in consultative sales or strategic business development, ideally in aesthetics or wellness. Excellent communication skills with outstanding phone and written and verbal etiquette, a positive and upbeat personality, someone who's excited about communicating with prospective clients and selling into programs, someone who's action-oriented with the ability to take constructive feedback, someone who is professional and mature and has a presentable appearance, someone well-rounded with the ability to quickly learn our philosophies, operations, technology, social media, and other systems, someone who has the abilities to set the tone for the team with optimal professionalism, and someone who has a strong internet connection. Like I said, we're a virtual team. And then I go into who is not the right fit. And I see this missed. This is one area where I think we forget to go back to my podcast on elimination marketing. This is like elimination hiring. You're going to automatically know. And I think if you write that love letter or you think about employees that didn't work out and why, you can start to really build up this arsenal of kind of red flags or of things that you really need to pay attention to when someone is within that category of having a quality that's not the right fit for you. So for us, you're not the right fit if you're looking to start your own business within the next 2 years. You're someone who needs a ton of structure and consistency. You're more focused on a paycheck than the mission we're on. You're not willing to jump in as needed on tasks that aren't yours. You're someone working multiple jobs or side gigs, someone who can't work independently, or someone who has never worked in an entrepreneurial environment before. By the way, leader, these are all developed based on employees that I hired that didn't work out. And so I start to think about why were they not the right fit? I literally had an employee who said to me, I just don't really want to learn anymore at this stage of my career. That's just not going to work here. I think I didn't know that until I went through that experience. Then we'll talk about key responsibilities. And again, this comes back to as I look at the role, and I'm not going to go over all of this in this specific podcast in the interest of keeping this short and sweet, but I will have together a worksheet built out with key results areas, KRAs, should be the key activity that employee would be responsible for, and then specific expectations around them. So for example, if I'm asking someone to take discovery calls, I'm going to tell them 12 per month or whatever the number is, as an example, how many of what. That way I have some tangible, actionable activities that I can help base their performance around, and I can judge whether those activities are contributing to the overall results of the company. So the key responsibilities for this role are to be a capable and willing team player who is ready and able to go all in on any task, achieve specific goals and navigate obstacles to grow the business creatively, be a thought partner and solutions generator in the KLC ecosystem with our team, customers, vendors, and partners, provide expert facilitation of virtual group sessions and events, exist as a first-line leader of strategic partnership and growth initiatives, and essentially be a glowing ambassador for the KLC brand. And so I really see this role as somebody who loves building businesses, loves architecting new things, loves being creative, and is not afraid to put themselves out there, can ask for the sale, can go hustle and get some meetings with key people, key decision makers within corporations, can help be a partner with me in terms of developing our strategic partnership programming, somebody that is strong in business to business sales, and someone who wants to join us on our incredible mission and be a part of a company that is so rewarding, so transformative, and so close and tight with our clients. Honestly, it's so special what we get to do every single day. Okay, I am just noticing that I am just going on and on. I'm super excited about this role. Again, for you, whether you're interested in this or not, please spread the word with somebody who is. And I hope this has been helpful for you as an employer. If you're listening to this and you run a practice, to really think about some things to incorporate into your hiring process and your application process. Definitely go check out our hiring page so you can get some insights into kind of how we build out our hiring process. And if you want to take this to the next level and you want help with the implementation and the build out of your people strategy and your growth plan this year, please send me a note and let's get on a call and talk about our programs and how we can help you in 2023. All right, leader, I can't wait to update you very soon on our new Director of Strategic Partnerships and Business Development. I hope you have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you next time. Take care. Wait, before you go, hey, if you're vibing with this conversation and you want to join me on my mission to help 100 inspiring and intentional women cross the next $1 million milestone in their business this year, or leader, maybe you want to become one of them, head over to Facebook and join our free community, the Fierce Factor Society. Over there, we're taking this conversation to an elevated level. Get access to resource guides, podcast supplements, guideposts, and direct communication with me, my expert team, and of course, a society of fierce women making big moves and disrupting the status quo in aesthetic wellness. You can link directly through the show notes or head to Facebook and search the Fierce Factor Society. See you there, goddess.